How you guys doing? Alright, so just to confirm, on Reddit, my name is Khmer703, Khmer703. A lot of guys were asking and wondering and questioning, like, yo, how the fuck can you vape between 700 to 1000 watts? It's really not that hard. First things first, my mod, this mod here, I have it set to 11.5 volts right now. You just saw it, 11.5. It's pulse width modulated. It's a LiPo box. This LiPo here actually uses a 3S LiPo battery, 2.2 mAh, fully charges up to 12.4 volts. Nominal voltage is 11.1 volts, and full discharge voltage is around, I think, 10.4 or something like that. 10.4 volts is like the lowest level, but it's a LiPo battery. It's not a lithium battery like what you know this shit is, or like my regulated mods here. This thing right here has the same voltage fully charged as a acid cell battery, like a car battery. Car batteries discharge 12.6 volts. If you didn't know. All right, so that's my mod. Just gonna keep that here. My build. Now you might not be able to see this too well, but I'm putting this on an IPv3 Li just to show you the resistance. My ohm meter's busted. I threw that shit out. I bought a cheap one off of Amazon. It was a piece of shit, but I've been using this, the ohm reader on here, to basically tell me what my wattages are. Not my wattages, what my resistances are. Now I'm not sure if you can see this, but last time I checked, that was 1.135. Let's see here. 135. 131. So 0.131 ohms. 131. 0. 0, 1, 3, 1 ohms. Now, you can put it in the Ohm's law calculator, whatever. 0.131 ohms is about 11.5 volts for 1000 watts. So I just confirmed it. This thing's 11.5 volts. It's backwards on my camera, but yeah. This build that I'm using, it's a 6 coil hex coil build. Each coil is 3.8 millimeters wide. Each coil is 17 wraps long, and there's a reason why it's a hex coil. The idea with high wattage vaping is the more metal there is, the more coils that you have, the more surface area and the more metal you have to put energy through. So the idea is when you put 1000 watts through a build, you distribute 1000 watts across 6 coils better than you do distributing it across 4 coils, like a quad coil build. If you try to distribute 1000 watts through a quad coil build, you would melt the fucking metal. You would put too much energy into them. They would heat up way too fast, and they would literally melt the fucking metal. Whereas if you put them through 6 coils, 1000 watts distributed across 6 coils, that would mean roughly about, like, what, 175 watts per each coil, which that's a lot more manageable. Now I'm going to show you real quick here that with a fresh bottle, this is 3 Dukes Gypsy. Haven't even opened this yet, but actually, you know what? Let me get another one. Give me 1 second here. Now, I'm gonna use this instead. Cloud Chasers Inc. Fire Blast. This is a 9010 VG, which should be a little bit easier on my lungs. Now I'm gonna show you guys exactly what 1000 watts looks like before I actually vape this son of a bitch, because yeah, you don't do this shit unless you know what the fuck you're doing, because you're definitely gonna fucking burn your throat. Now, the first time I did this shit, not gonna lie, burnt my fucking throat. Hurt like a bitch. But it was vapable. It was kind of like a 28 single coil gauge at like 30, 40 watts. But this is what it looks like. That thing looks pissed, right? Anyways, Don't do this shit unless you are absolutely sure about what you're doing. Now, I've been practicing with high wattages for a while now. I've been vaping only for about 6 months, but I'm fairly confident in my builds and in my shit. So, this is what 1,000 watts looks like. Now, bear in mind, you're gonna get a lot more clouds with more efficient builds than this. This thing is just purely for show. That's 1,000 watts. 11.5 volts through a 0.131 ohm coil. And if you don't fucking believe me, feel free to come down here, stop by, like, you know, Virginia, come to my house. I'll let you even try this out. A couple of my buddies and Vapors One Stop have actually tried this out, and they'll vouch for you, and they'll vouch for me. This isn't exactly sort of shit that you do unless you know what the fuck you're doing. And just so you know, when I was saying about like 700 watts, 700 watts isn't all that hard to hit, as a matter of fact, because like that's 1,000 watts, so like 700 is about 9 volts. So that's roughly about, let's say like 80, 75%, 75% battery power. That's what 700 watts looks like, roughly. I'd probably say that was more like 600 watts, but you know, you get the idea. So if you guys are ever curious, if you have any questions, feel free to message me, text me, whatever. I'm usually on Reddit, Khmer703. Not really that known on the internet. I don't really give a fuck. I just do builds, and I see what the fuck works, and I see what the fuck doesn't. If you have any questions, or you're wondering, or you want to get into high wattage vaping, feel free to message, alright? You guys have a nice day. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Fuck you all.